What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well out there in the old interweb as we get into some more talks about music and things going on. But first, let me say, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you're thinking. And also, if anybody's interested, I started a Patreon account. There's a link below. Let's get a community started of like-minded people that want to talk music and want to talk guitar gear. So check that out if you get time. You never know what you might find. So in this episode on the channel, we're going to talk about Tom Morello's new album, The Atlas Underground Fire. Now, this is a follow-up to 2018's The Atlas Underground. And if you're not familiar with Tom Morello's work, he is the guitar player for Rage Against the Machine, Audioslave, and Prophets of Rage. Now, Prophets of Rage was Chuck D from Public Enemy, Be Real, and Rendog from Cypress Hill, and then the guys from Rage Against the Machine. Now, Audioslave was basically Rage Against the Machine, fronted by Chris Cornell. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And then obviously Rage Against the Machine, which is a killer heavy rock band if you've never really gotten into that. But you'd probably have to be living under a rock to not hear any of their stuff. So yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. So Tom Morello, The Atlas Underground Fire. It was released October the 15th of 2021. It is 12 songs and it does run 46 minutes. Now, as far as Morello's gear goes, his gear is very simple and it hasn't changed much over the years, and it's very well documented. Morello uses a late 80s, early 90s, I think, JCM 800 with a 412 cabinet. Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments about the 412 cabinet. What is it? What brand is it? Because it's not branded. He usually hangs a flag of some sort on it or some kind of tapestry. But I have heard him say that it is a PV cabinet. Now that means that it probably has Black Widow speakers in it, and those are legendary speakers. So yeah, they don't make those anymore. I don't even know if PV makes like a reissue of those speakers. Sometimes those Black Widows are highly sought after speakers. I've used a set of them in the past. Great speakers. For pedals, he's the master of a Digitech whammy, a couple of Boss delays, a flanger, a wah. And when you listen to Morello, all the sounds that you hear that sound like a DJ or something that's mixed down is actually him performing that with his guitar. So I just had the conversation the other day with somebody about innovative guitarists in my lifetime, and I just turned 40. So all I said was the guys that I think are the most innovative in the last 20-30 years that I've been aware of music, probably Eddie Van Halen and Morello. There are some other guys out there that would be on that list, but I think as far as super innovative, it would have to be those two gentlemen. And I don't think Morello gets the accolades or respect that he should get as a guitarist, because the guy is fantastic. If you listen to any of the Rage, any of the Audioslave, any of the Prophets of Rage, his guitar work, it has a lot of feel, it has a lot of touch, and it's very groove oriented. It's very on the one oriented, like a James Brown. And I know that's an odd comparison, but when you listen to it and it's got that rock and feel and it brings you back with the head bob, that's what I'm getting at. It's very on the one, very punch oriented with the way he writes riffs, and I really dig it. So let's get into this new album, the Atlas Underground Fire. My initial reaction to it when I first heard it, well, there are some tracks on here that are absolutely great, and there's some tracks that's not really in my wheelhouse, but I'll leave that up to you to decide what you think. But it's very Morello, and some of the tracks are even dance oriented. The way that he's making his sounds with his guitar, I could hear it being played in a club, but that's just me. Now, it's listed as an alternative album, but it's got touches of alternative, it's got touches of dance, like I just said, electronica, hip-hop, rap. So there you go. What are my top 3, as we always do on this album? So, here we go. Number 3 on the album is the number 6 song on the album, and it runs 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and it's called Hold the Line. Now, Hold the Line features Grandson. I'm not sure. But when you listen to Hold the Line, it's got a, think 9 Inch Nails kind of feeling with the background, and the lyrical content is not as rough as like Closer by 9 Inch Nails. That's kind of what I hear in my head when I listen to this. And it really does have that kind of feel to it. So that's my number 3 pick. Hold the Line featuring Grandson. And like I said, it is the number 6 song, and it runs 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Now, my number 2 song, it's kind of hard for me to nail these down. I enjoyed a lot of this, but I have to go with the number 9 song, which is called Night Witch. And it features Fem. P-H-E-M is, I think, how they pronounce this, is Fem. Comment below if I butcher that, and if you are the artist, I apologize. But yeah, the number 9 song, and it runs 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And this is the what I think is the most dance alternative related song on the album. It's got such a killer groove to it, and Morello's guitar work with his effects, with the delays and all that, and the whammy, it's just outstanding. So yeah, my number 2 song off the album is Night Witch featuring Fem. Now, my number 1 song, and to me this might be the most like radio friendly song, if you want to say it, but it's called The War Inside featuring Chris Stapleton. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Stapleton has got one of the greatest voices in modern music right now. Great songwriter, great musician, and on this track, his voice really shines through. Now, why did I pick this as my number 1? Oh, and by the way, it's the 5th song on the album, and it runs 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Why did I pick this as my number 1? As a guitarist, Rage and Audioslave were a huge influence for me. And sadly, with Chris Cornell being gone, Audioslave is pretty much done, right? And I'm not saying that they should reform Audioslave with a new singer. But what I'm getting at is, if they had an idea of doing a band like that, where they take the guys from Rage and they find a singer, please, if you hear this, call Chris Stapleton. Because listening to this, I could hear Stapleton do like a Stone. I could just hear him doing all the Audioslave stuff. So if they were going to find somebody that could take that legacy and kind of move forward within another band and still honor the Audioslave stuff, because believe it or not, I think fans want to hear that stuff live again. And I don't think people have forgotten Audioslave. And I know, out of respect for Chris, that they don't want to do that. But I think Chris Stapleton could be a whole different feel for another type of Audioslave type band. Because Audioslave was just great, right? So their first 2 albums were phenomenal. Their 3rd album is really good, but I felt like they pushed it a little bit. But hearing this with Chris Stapleton, I hear Like a Stone. I hear Set It Off. I hear Cochise, but in a different way, this could be awesome, right? And if they had the time to sit down and write and produce new music, it could be something really special, ladies and gents. And I just think that that would be cool. So that's why I picked that as my number one song. Go get the album, stream it on whatever streaming service you use. I'll post a link to one below. And let me know what you think. Post a comment. But yeah, Tom Morello, that's the song I'm talking about. But Tom Morello, the Atlas Underground Fire, brand new. Check it out. If you're a guitar fan, you're really going to dig it. If you're into like alternative stuff that has a good groove to it, you're really going to dig it. So yeah, do yourself a favor and check it out. And as always, comment below, throw me a like, check the links out, and remember that music is love and love is music. Until next time.